Well, hello. It has been a little while since we have sat down together. It is a Friday evening. It's one of those really lovely, quiet Friday evenings when it's technically still spring, but it feels like summer. You know, the air is warm and there's a soft breeze moving through the trees. And I find myself just standing by the window, looking out, and I glance up and I see a 3/4 moon hanging in the sky, just looking at me, saying, hey. There's a lilac bush in full bloom, maybe 8 feet from the window. And there's a bird just singing quietly in the tree. And I just find myself at moments like this going, I feel like I need to pinch myself. How is this my life right now? I feel happy and at peace and just full of joy. So I'm recording standing right in front of my open window, which means you might hear some background sounds, which is fine. It's just, you're going to hear a little bit of life. I woke up a couple days ago with this topic in mind, and it's been a little bit of a crazy week, and I went, I'm going to record it now. I just feel like this is the place to be, and now is the energy to be in to record it with all of you. So I find myself this week in a place of reflection, thinking about where I have come from and what my life is today. And in truth, really just marveling at what my life is today. It's so easy to get caught up in the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and, you know, always be chasing after the next thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. As beings of the universe, we are programmed, we are created to expand. We're always optimizing for expansion. As I say this, I look into our backyard, which is in dire need of a grass cutting, and it is full of dandelions, which I'm sure my neighbors hate us for. But there's 2 things at play. 1, we leave the dandelions so the bees have something to eat. And 2, it's my partner's turn to cut the grass. So it's just waiting until he's ready. And I'm practicing being okay with that. But the universe is always moving for expansion. It's never moving for contraction. So it's actually weird in a way, right? Like we think that if we're always going after the next thing, we're being greedy, but it's actually how we're designed to be made. Now, the intention in how you're going after something will change, right? That can put you in a state of greediness or an unhealthy expansion. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there are sport bikes a couple blocks over, which I always love to hear. I actually do love to hear them. I love sport bikes. But I find myself, I feel like I said but. Let me correct. But let's take that out of there. I have found myself this week in particular doing a lot of reflecting over the last few years. And like I said, just kind of marveling where I've come. And part of the reason is this. I am looking at a potential up-leveling, a pretty massive up-leveling, moving into another role. I don't know yet if that's going to manifest, but I am at the doorstep. I have the opportunity to potentially move into another role, which is going to unlock a lot of things for me. And as I'm thinking about this opportunity that has presented itself, I woke up this morning, brushed my teeth, and I found myself thinking, 2 years ago, I was at an entry-level role in the company that I work with. And now I'm looking at a fairly senior position, and I'm well set to apply for a fairly senior position. And that kind of growth, like if someone had said to me 2 years ago, that's what I'd be looking at, I would have been like, well, that sounds pretty cool, but I don't think that's possible. It's amazing. And I said to my boyfriend this week, I said, I feel this momentum gathering, this like energy sort of collecting and coming together and moving and shifting and this tremendous amount of momentum that's building up. I just have this like sense of it in my body. And it's neat and it's exciting and it's weird and it's kind of scary all at the same time. But I said, I kind of feel like a couple years ago, I finally said, you know what, I want more. I'm tired of just, kind of existing and barely surviving and always being behind. I want more, and I'm going to go find out how to get there. And I don't even think that I knew specifically that that's exactly what I was saying, but I did know that I wanted more. And so I started making intentional choices to go after more. And thinking about and learning from people who are at the level that I want to be. And finally understanding, I think finally embodying the wisdom. I had the mental understanding of this already, but I didn't have the internal wisdom yet, that in order to have that state of being, I had to be it. And it sounds so silly, but when we're thinking about our goals, right? If we're thinking about, for example, the sport bikes that just went by, if I am someone who has a sport bike and gets to drive a sport bike, I need to be somebody who has a sport bike and drives a sport bike, right? If I'm not that person, then I'm not going to have a sport bike in my life, which is why I don't currently have one in my life, because I'm not that person. I haven't created that state of being inside myself yet. So I don't think I was that clear on it a couple years ago that that's where I was going. I just knew that I was done with barely getting by. I was done with always being stressed out and being sick about bills and always having my back against the wall financially and, carrying more weight than I wanted and having a relationship that was, I'd say 60% good, but 40% a challenge. And, it was just thing after thing. And I was like, I'm over this. I'm over this and ready for the next. And so I started learning and I started paying attention and I started actually doing the things and believing that it was possible, even though I had no flippin' idea what that would look like. Today, I was out for a walk with my partner and I said, do you ever look back and just kind of even just look at your life today and kind of marvel at what it's become? I said, if someone had said to me, if someone had listened to me, the realities that exist in my life right now, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, hell, 10 years ago, my life fell apart. I watched, fascinating, as my entire life literally crumbled to the ground. I got fired from my job. I had to move out of my apartment. I got kicked out of the house by my mom. I got dumped by my boyfriend. I was I had to move away from my friends. I had to move away from my gym. I think I've talked about this before, but I was literally just watching everything in my life go up in smoke going, what the hell is happening right now? I don't understand what's happening right now. So if today me were to show up to 10 years ago me sitting in the field, in the car, crying my eyes out going, what the fuck is happening? It would have sounded like some ridiculous pipe dream to describe the life that I have today. The life that I have today, to some might not sound that amazing, but to me, it's unbelievable in a way. It's believable because I'm living it. I have an amazing relationship with my partner. We've been together for 9 years. Our relationship is happier and healthier and more intimate than I could ever have possibly imagined. Doesn't mean that all of our days are great. No, there are days that I kind of want to be like, can we just not today? But that happens because we are in a relationship. That happens in every relationship. But I'm amazed at how joyful and loving and warm and fulfilling our relationship is. I released a fair amount of weight over the last few months. About 45 pounds, which is not an insignificant amount. And it actually came off fairly easily because when I made the decision, I'm like, that's it. I'm ready to become the person who is hiding underneath all of this weight. It's time to let this protective shell go and become the person that I know is underneath there. So today, I feel good about and good in my body in a way I never thought would be possible. I thought that I'd have to become this totally different person that I just literally could not biologically be, because that's not how I'm made, in order to feel this way. And I don't. I feel that way today. I feel amazing in my body. And I'm really proud of it, but it feels just good to be in my body. I have a job that whether I get the next level or not, I have a job that I love, and I get a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment out of it. Challenges me and grows me in all the right ways, and it's aligned to the bigger goals that I want to go after. And a company that treats us really well, that's pretty cool. I have an amazing network of people around me. I have friends that I can talk with and sit with and be with, who can hold space for me, who know how to challenge me and push me and hold me accountable when I'm playing small, which has actually happened a lot this week. I've had friends kind of look at me going, what do you mean you're thinking about it? Why haven't you applied, for that role already? You're ready. Stop getting in your way. What else? I have a brand new car sitting in the garage. Brand spanking new. Definitely did not think that was going to be happening at this particular time in my life. So that's kind of a big deal. It just keeps going. We have a home that I love. I'm healthy and I'm able to do things. We're going to Greece in the fall, which is just what? That's a thing? It's those moments that you pause and you actually look at what exists in your life and you go, holy shit, my life is amazing. And yes, I'm still going after big goals. And no, I haven't yet hit that millionaire status that I'm striving towards. And it will come. It will come. I'm 100% certain that it will come. I don't know when it will come, but it's coming. I think I got lost at one point, but I started to say earlier, I was sitting with my boyfriend, I think last night actually, on the sofa after our walk and just kind of, reflecting on all of this and thinking about feeling sort of at this threshold of the me that has gotten myself to here and the me that is about to step into the future. And I just said to him, I'm like, I actually kind of feel like the moment that I made the decision, and I'm going to say this and you're going to go, oh, that sounds like a GIF, or I've seen that on Instagram. And 100% you have. But the moment I made the decision a few years ago and said, I'm fucking in this. Let's do this. I'm going to find a way through this because I'm so over settling for this crap. I just feel like, the angels, the universe, God, whatever source you believe in, just all were like, yo, yay, get going. She's fucking ready. Let's go. Go. We got to get going. She's finally on board. Let's go. And it boggles my mind how fast things are rolling forward. And every time I get out of my own way and I go, oh, okay, what if I don't have to struggle this way? And what if it could just open up and be a different way, something that's better and easier and brings me more joy? I'm dumbfounded by what shows up. Dumbfounded. I mentioned my car. I used to have a car that was, I've talked about it lots of times in the podcast, that was my dream car. It was the car that I always wanted. It was fast and it was sporty and it made me look cool and it made me feel cool. And I used to get the wave from other people who had that car and I was like, I'm fucking in the club. I'm cool. Never been cool in my life. That's a big deal for me. Check me out. I'm cool. But it started costing me a lot of money and it kept needing more repairs. And I was just like, what? I don't understand. This is getting ridiculous. The time that I finally understood, this relationship between me and this car, this is no longer healthy for me. Okay, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but the car just suddenly wouldn't work. On my way, leaving the grocery store, trying to go for a run one day, it just wouldn't work. Wouldn't run. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Got it towed into the performance shop and they had to look over. They said, I don't know what's wrong, Amy. It's working fine. There's nothing leaking. There's nowhere, like everything's working fine. And I went, okay, I got you, universe. You don't have to tell me again. You're telling me that it's time. This thing needs to shift. And a week later, I had a brand new car on order. A week later. I cannot stress enough how fast it happens when you get out of the way. That's the big thing. And I'm sure the question you're probably asking right now is, okay, cool, so how do I get out of the way? That's an amazing question, and I'm so glad you asked, to which I don't have the best answer for, because it's super simple. You just decide. You decide to let go, to stop holding on so tight to the thing in your life that is the placeholder and standing in the way of the thing that you want. Now, it's super easy when you go, okay, Amy, so you're thinking about letting go of the car. So what does that look like? Did you sell it? Did you, like, what did that all look like? What it actually looked like was that I just started researching new cars and went, well, let's go to the dealership and go have a look at what's around. There wasn't even anything on the market. I like cars. I love cars. I'm into them. There wasn't anything in the market that I was like, yeah, let's go after that. But I just started researching. And the doors just continued opening. And I kind of watched amazed as all these things came together, and all of a sudden I had a new car in order. And then I had the next step of letting go of like, okay, now I need to sell this car, because I definitely wasn't thinking that I'd be buying a car before I sold the other car. And to make matters even more stressful, I actually owned 2 cars for a period of time. And I'm like, this was not the plan. This was not the plan. But okay, I'm going to learn from this. Because I have a belief, I believe this to my absolute core, that everything is working out in my favor all the time, which means that every single thing that happens in my life is always working to my benefit. I believe that to the atoms in my cells. That is how that works for me. So even when things are kind of shit and I'm going, what the fuck is happening? I know that it's working out for my favor, and I just need to understand where it is that I'm holding friction that's causing this thing to stay. The magpies have moved in, if you can hear them chirping. There's also some sirens around the corner because we live a block from a police station and a fire hall. So you might be hearing all of that. Well, welcome to a chill Friday night. But getting out of your way. So sometimes it's just, okay, let's explore different options. Often for me, I found that it's a small shift in my mind. It's like an opening, kind of like someone has, the feeling or the sound when a lock clicks open. It's almost like that. When I got my last car, it's not the one I have now, but the one that I ended up selling as I got this one, I had a slightly different version in my mind, and I had a very specific way that I wanted it to show up. And then on my drive home one day, I spotted a car like the one that I ended up buying at the traffic light, and I went, what if I kind of look at something like that? Maybe I don't get this brand new one that I'm going after right now, but maybe I go after something like that and just kind of see. And got home 5 minutes later, said to my boyfriend, hey babe, what do you think? I was kind of thinking about this. Literally in 10 minutes, he'd pulled up, I think, three different models that were available for sale. And in, I kid you not, a week, I had a new car in my garage. And I was like, what the fuck? What just happened? Right? That's how fast things happen when you learn how to get out of the way. And they're not always going to happen that fast. And I am myself subject to this, that I think, okay, cool. Oh, okay, it's happening really fast. Okay, what's the really big juicy thing that I want? Because maybe I can manifest being a millionaire in a week. And maybe you could. Who am I to say? I have no idea. It's entirely possible. For me, though, I recognize that, right this exact moment, today, could I be a millionaire in a week? Maybe. But I don't think I've embodied the levels to get there yet. There's quite the noisy gaggle of magpies. Are they murders? What are magpies? There's a group of magpies in the backyard, and they're feeling chatty tonight. And I can see the microphone moving up and down, so definitely you're picking them up. So there you go. Welcome to the wildlife that is our backyard. So I suppose where I'm sort of going to end my rambling on is encouraging you to take a moment, if you're listening to this over the weekend, take a moment to just pause and have an actual look at your life. Just let the filters go, let the judgments go. Just look at your life and allow yourself to marvel at the things that are in your life. Do you have a job that you love? That's pretty cool. You know, there's not a lot of people in the world that have a job that they love or that get to do work that they love. Are you getting paid an amount of money that feels good to you? Maybe it's not your ultimate goal. I have yet to meet a person who's like, I'm getting paid enough, I don't want to make any more money, you know? But like, that doesn't mean that you can't appreciate where you're at right now. Oh, the gaggle of magpies are coming closer. Usually when they're this lippy in our backyard, there's like a cat or something around, but I haven't seen a cat yet, so stay tuned. I keep losing my train of thought because the magpies are so loud. Oh, marveling at your life. So yes, so take a moment to just observe your life and marvel at your life and get lost in the moment. Just lose yourself to the moment that you're in and not be worrying about the future or thinking about the past or, you know, all the things that have to happen. Just allow yourself to just be in the moment and go, wow, it's kind of cool that like literally I don't have to think about anything and my heart's still beating. Don't have to think about it and I'm breathing. I can think about my breathing, right? And I can change my breathing, but I don't have to think about it. I'll just keep breathing whether I think about it or not. I just had this snack. Isn't this amazing that my body knows how to take that bowl of fruit, break it down, get the nutrients out of it, distribute it across my body so that my body is healthy and nourished, and then knows what to do with the stuff that we can't use. Can we just talk about that for a second? How freaking cool is that? You are not thinking about any of that. And because it just comes naturally, we tend to brush it away. So look at the things in your life that you're brushing away and allow yourself to just sit and marvel for those for a moment. I swear that I'm not part of the Marvel Comics world. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to leave you with is thinking about how you are standing in your own way. A friend sent me a Abraham Hicks video probably more than a year ago. And I think it's been taken off YouTube now because I can't find it anymore. But I listened to it over and over and over and over and over again for weeks. I just kept listening to it. I'd play it while I was driving somewhere in the car. Like it was 15 minutes. It was perfect because most of the places I need to drive to are about 15 minutes. So I could just listen to this while I'm, in the car driving somewhere and just kind of ruminate on it. And I remember the video shared this idea of your energy is like this vortex, and you're holding this vortex open with the power of your focus and your intent. And so if you find a way to let go of having to create that vortex that's really a boundary between you and the thing that you want, all of a sudden the thing that you want can flow in. But what you're doing when you're thinking about all the things that you don't want is that you're actually creating friction and you're creating this boundary layer where the thing that you do want can't come in. Fun little example to talk about how quickly we can manifest something in. So I'm sitting on the deck this afternoon. It was a beautiful day. As I mentioned, like it's a really lovely day, which is why I also have such a lovely evening. I was sitting on the deck, and every time I would go into the house, and I've thought this a number of times over the last few weeks, and when I'm sitting outside, I will go into the house and I go, oh, I just don't want to lock myself out. Like, don't lock yourself out, Amy. Don't lock yourself out. Make sure you don't lock yourself out. In 9 years, I have not locked myself out. Today, I locked myself out. And I was like, gotta be kidding me. So, I mean, obviously, we have to go into solution mode of like, okay, so what do I do now? Do I call my boyfriend home from work? Do Am I fine sitting on the deck for a few hours? Am I going to need to go pee? Like all the things I'm thinking about. But as I'm sitting there, I'm also very aware of, this is a little universal reminder to me of A, how quickly I manifest things, and B, to pay really close attention to what I am focusing on. I had a similar reminder about 6 months ago. I had my car not 6 months ago, but 3 months ago. Only had my car for about 3 months. We're driving out to a ski day, and it's a sloppy day on the highway. It's really just nasty. I had the perfect car for it, but there's gravel throwing up, and I had spent the last 3 months, my third week of having my car, I got a chip on the windshield. And my boyfriend said, you probably want to get that fixed so that it doesn't crack. So I spent from December when that happened to March when we were going on the ski trip thinking, please don't let that turn into a crack. I really don't want my windshield to crack. I should go in so my windshield doesn't crack because I really don't want my windshield to crack because it's a brand new car. And I really would hate to have a cracked windshield. That would really suck. And then wouldn't you know, we go on the ski trip. Guess how many cracks I have in my windshield? I have fucking 3 cracks on my windshield from one trip to the ski hill. Now, my initial is, son of a bitch, my windshield is cracked. But my immediate second was the same as what I thought when I locked myself out today of, right, this is the universe reminding me in a way that is tangible, that I know that it knows I'm going to pick up on this of, hey, you are really powerful at manifesting things, so pay attention to what you are giving your attention to. So if you want to manifest cracks in your windshield, cool, we got you, girl. Here you go. Here's 3. How about an abundance of cracks in your windshield? Right? If I want to manifest locking myself out of the house, amazing. Here you go. All right, let's lock you out of the house. It's a reminder. If you're seeing things showing up that you're like, fuck, I didn't want that thing to happen. Have a look at what you've been thinking about. What have you been focusing on? Have you been thinking about having that thing not happen? Right? Let's say, for example, you're going for a promotion at work and you're just like, I really want to get it, but I'm just afraid that it's not going to work out. And what if they're not going to think that I'm the right person? And oh God. And then am I ready for the next level? And what if I think about that, be the person that is going to step into that and just sit in that energy. Not the person who's freaking out and worrying and doubting themselves and constantly taking themselves out of the game. Also saying this to myself is kind of a bit of a pep talk while I'm recording this for you. But put yourself in the place of the person who's already there. You're already in the role. What do you got to worry about? You're already there. You're doing a great job. You're killing it. Right? Take yourself one step past the offer of, hey, we want to offer you the job. Take yourself one step into the role where you're say 2 months in or 3 months in and your boss is like, just want to let you know you're killing it. I'm really proud and I'm really loving having you on my team. What a much better space to be in, right? And now all of a sudden, that's what you're manifesting in. You're not manifesting in this potential rejection. You're actually manifesting in this space that you want to be in. And then the last thing I'll say is learn to let go. It's probably the hardest thing. And the more that you desire a thing, the harder it is to do the letting go part. But it is integral to create a healthy state of what it is that you're looking for. And I stress the healthy. If you are in a relationship with a person and your relationship is, say, 80% happy, but you spend 80% of the time being terrified they're going to leave you, so you're hanging on to them so tight, what will eventually happen is that they will leave you. You will create some scenario, whatever that looks like, that person has to exit your life because that is what you've been holding on to. Instead of just having, the open hand metaphor. You don't hold a bird with your hand closed, you hold a bird with your hand open. But it means that the bird can fly away at any time. Of course it can. It's got its own freedom and its own ability to choose. It needs to have that space. But to have a healthy relationship with the bird, you're not squeezing the stuffing out of it. You're allowing it to be with you. And you're appreciating the time that it spends with you. So the same thing for the things that are in your life already, especially the things that you want to have more of. Maybe you already have a good relationship, but you want it to be even better, right? Don't focus on, I wish it was better. Focus on, I am so grateful that I have this joy in my life. I shower the people around me with gratitude and appreciation because I want them to know how important it is to me that they are in my life, but I also want to signal to the universe of like, this is good. I want more of this, please. Right? More of this, please. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me on this delightful Friday evening. The lilac smell really lovely. I can just smell just a hint of lilac on the air. Like, I feel like I'm living in a freaking movie. Minus the not yet lawn mowed backyard. The backyard does not look like a movie scene. I will tell you that. But all the rest of it feels like I'm in a movie. I hope you're having an amazing day, whatever you're doing. Thank you for listening. And that's all I got. Oh, that's not all I got. I have one last thing to add. I am testing the waters on coaching. I've done a lot of like the type of coaching work, but I've never actively coached people. So to understand if this is work that I want to pursue further and look into further training, I'm actually offering coaching at no charge for the next few months. So if you're interested and you want to work with a coach and you've always been wondering like, how the hell do I pay for a coach? I got you. I am offering coaching at no charge. Reach out to me on Instagram. You can find me at I Dare to Begin, all letters. I Dare to Begin. Just DM me and let me know that you heard it on the podcast and you're interested in potentially doing some coaching with me. And we can connect and find out if that would be a good relationship for the both of us. So yeah, outside of that, have an amazing day. Thanks for listening.